south central Missouri, about 50 miles south of here. I'm here today representing RKIF USA as the marketing committee chairman of a national organization that has been the only national cattlemen's organization from the very forefront that has been against mandatory identification of livestock. And I'm very proud of that. I have a few talking points. I'm going to try to do this in 3 minutes, so I'm going to do it very quickly. Number one, premise identification numbers have already been acquired by most confined CAFO animal facilities in the state of Missouri, including dairies, feedlots, hog facilities, and poultry buildings. Every livestock owner does not need a premise ID number to accomplish disease control and animal traceback. Making NAIS mandatory is an unnecessary burden on independent livestock producers. Producers and animal owners need to understand that NAIS means the individual reading of electronic ID tags of every animal that moves off its birth farm. And I think that is very important. Every time that animal moves off its birth farm, that electronic tag has to be read and reported to a government agency within 48 hours. I want you to realize that how many cattle that we have here in the United States and how hard that would be to accomplish that. And with the technology that is not in place to be able to read the tags, that is not foolproof, it is going to be very difficult to do. Now, Australia and Canada are the only two countries in the world that have individual electronic ID, and it's only cattle. And why only cattle? Now, there are 4 million phantom cattle in Australia right now. 4 million cattle in their database that they cannot account for. This is an excellent example of why such a reporting system will be a complete failure in the United States, where we graze 4 times the number of cattle as they do in Australia. There are only 2 countries, as I said, Australia and Canada. Instead of being a marketing advantage for NAIS, this individual electronic animal identification has become an economic burden, reducing their profit margins and encumbering management and record-keeping burdens. Now, Bruce Knight told a large group of practicing bovine veterinarians in Vancouver, Canada in September of 2007 that the primary reason the USDA was pushing so adamantly for NAIS in the United States was to simply be in compliance with the Office of International Epizootics. The United States cattle producer, I see my 3 minutes are about up. Can I have one more? We produce the safest, most wholesome beef in the world. We've been taxed millions of dollars over the last 60 years to control and contain cattle disease in the United States, and we've worked diligently with the former USDA to prevent the introduction of foreign animal disease, and to allow the World Trade Organization, enforced by the full compliance of the USDA, to force an economically disastrous and onerous system of costly individual electronic animal identification upon the Missouri cattle producer is only foul tasting to all of us. Thank you.